So the Sacramento Kings have finally made the playoffs, and everything is looking great for them right now. I mean, they're currently the third seed in the West. They are looking like one of the more competent teams in the West, and they're basically looking like a team that nobody wants to verse in the first round. So they have a great core of players with a good mix of vets and young guys on the team that can definitely help them win right now, led by De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. This team is definitely a team to watch out for in the playoffs, especially with the earlier rounds where they can surprise you. Depending on matchups, I think this team can definitely be a surprising team in the West and a team that can definitely go pretty far in the playoffs. So in today's video, we'll break down the Kings and talk about their ceiling in the playoffs. So we'll first talk about their standings, obviously being the third seed with a record of 46-30. So if the playoffs did start today, they would be versing the Golden State Warriors, which I definitely think would be a good matchup. I think I did see Wiggins. He's back in the Bay Area, so if he does return for the postseason, it could definitely be a little bit of a tougher matchup with his defense and floor spacing. But overall, I think it definitely would be an electric first round with the Warriors and the Kings. So, yeah, I mean, this Kings team, they're definitely well built. They definitely have a good roster. I mean, I think they're supporting pieces right now, and even off the bench, they have some good pieces off the bench. They're definitely a team that has a lot of floor spacing, a lot of good overall just offensive power, and even defensive power too. They have some of that too, but I think overall it's definitely a well-balanced team, and overall this team definitely has the potential to definitely go to the finals this year. So we'll talk about Sabonis first and foremost. I mean, I'll talk about some of the team here pretty quickly. Sabonis, definitely an effective piece for this team, as he can work in the hub and be basically the hub of the offense, but also be the screener in the pick and roll, which is definitely their bread and butter. But I mean, between De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, they usually run that play a lot in the elbow or even on the perimeter. So I mean, yeah, Sabonis, his versatility on offense is definitely unmatched, but also his ability to be an off-ball guy and a guy that can just be the playmaker of the team, be the hub of the offense, be the rebounder of the team. I mean, he definitely has just some great versatility for this team, and having him on the team definitely helped them in their long run, and with their playoff hopes in sight, he definitely should be a guy helping them out pretty soon here. So yeah, I mean, Sabonis, he's just a great piece in the sense that he just does everything on the team that they really need him to, and just obviously like rebounding wise, assist wise, even scoring wise, he's definitely there. So yeah, great pickup for the Sacramento Kings. I did see, I mean, obviously everyone knows about the Pacers and the Kings trade from last season, or yeah, last season I think, where Halliburton went to the Indiana Pacers, but definitely a well-balanced trade looking at here right now still. And basically in the scheme of things for the history of the NBA, I mean, they definitely had both parties winning the trade basically. So yeah, I mean, Sabonis definitely was a good pickup for them, and I think if they wanted to get over the hump of being mediocre, this was the move. And to get a guy like Sabonis that can work beside De'Aaron definitely is a huge thing for this team. So yeah, next, I don't really have to explain it, but I mean, De'Aaron Fox, obviously being the cornerstone of the franchise. I mean, at the moment, he's basically been their number one guy. Fox, he should honestly be a sleeper for the MIP award this season. He's actually having career highs in all, across the board this season, essentially. I mean, in every category, he's having career highs, and even in his let me see. I mean, like, looking at his shooting splits, 51 from the field compared to 47 from last year, 33 from three compared to 30 or 29.5% from last year. Looking at some other stats, he's up basically a couple rebounds, a couple assists, and he's actually he's averaging a career high in points per game too. So that's great to see. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, he's definitely a guy that deserves all the love. I mean, he's definitely a really clutch player. I mean, if there's ever a clutchest player award, I think that's the thing. Hopefully it is. He definitely deserves that too. Has the clutch genes in his veins. I mean, ice in his veins. But yeah, I mean, yeah, De'Aaron Fox, definitely one of the more entertaining players in the league right now. So yeah, I mean, overall, I don't really have too much to talk about De'Aaron Fox. I mean, every Kings fan knows this guy essentially. I mean, the thing I like about him is that he just knows what to run on offense. I mean, he never looks lost. He just knows what to do, knows how to run the plays, and just gets into it right from the get-go. So I think that's good for the team, just getting into the flow of the offense pretty quickly, and with him initiating the offense, I think is definitely good. So Finally, we got some supporting pieces on the team. I mean, the role players, guys like Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk. All these guys are pretty important pieces to their overall game plan. I think, guys like Malik Monk and Davion Mitchell providing some good defense and some good offensive output. These guys are definitely some important pieces off the bench. And, obviously, like the Kings bench isn't really too great. I mean, looking at it right now, guys like Kessler Edwards, I think he has a lot of potential. Alex Len playing the backup center. I thought Rashawn Holmes had some potential back like a couple seasons ago, but hasn't been getting some minutes lately. And even Terrence Davis being a knockdown three-point shooter, I definitely thought he had some potential. But I mean, that's the good thing about this team, is that they have a ton of sleepers on this team that can go off for any night essentially. And I think subbing in guys like Terrence Davis when they need a clutch bucket, that's definitely good to see. So guys like Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes being in the starting lineup too. I mean, both guys provide some good three-point shooting. Obviously, Harrison Barnes being a good defender for this team, good perimeter defender. I think, just the amount of mix of versatility on this team is definitely great. And I think, swapping in a guy like a Malik Monk into the starting five whenever Kevin Huerter gets hurt or something like that, or even guys like Davion Mitchell, I mean, he definitely could be a good substitute for some perimeter defense. It's just really great to see that the Kings have a ton of players that they can just cycle in whenever they want to. So, yeah, now for the playoffs. This is the first time in 16 years that they've been in the playoffs. So, matchup is definitely going to be key here. So, if the Sacramento Kings stay the 3rd seed, they're going to be versing the 6th seed, which right now is Golden State. So, like I said, pretty interesting matchup right there against Curry, against Clay, against Draymond. Definitely would be a good series. And I think, if they were to play, I feel like the Kings could definitely come out within 7. I think that definitely would go to 7. I mean, depending on what happens and how, each and every team works out with injuries and stuff, they definitely could go to 7. So, yeah, at their best, their ceiling is definitely the Western Conference Finals. Now, I know I say this for like every team, but, there are some teams in the playoffs that definitely, I would say, wouldn't work to go to all the way to the Western Conference Finals. If you look at the standings overall in the West, you can just see this. I feel like the top 3 teams are definitely locks. Denver, I don't know. Memphis is definitely an interesting team. I wouldn't say they're a Western Conference team, but more like a second round exit. Even teams like LA Clippers, they definitely could be a team to look out for. With injuries right now to Kawhi and PG, they definitely could fizzle out within the second round. Even teams like Phoenix, if they do get some injuries to KD and Chris Paul, essentially, even like guys like Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, they definitely could be a team that fizzle out pretty quickly. But yeah, this team, or honestly, like this Western Conference is definitely really jam-packed. Looking at the top 3 seeds, 51, 49, and 46, but then looking at 4, 5, 6, 41, 41, 40, and even 7 to 10, 39, 39, 39, and 38. So definitely a compact West right here. You guys, what do you guys think about this Sacramento Kings team? They're definitely turning it up this season, and they're definitely, they're finally back in the playoffs, which is great to see, but also they're finally back into the NBA media. No one really talked about the Kings last season. They did post trade deadline with Sabonis, but now with everything going according to plan, basically, they're definitely a team to look out for now, and might honestly be a destination for free agency signings. I think if the Sacramento Kings make a good run this season, they definitely could go out and get maybe a star, depending on, their money situation. I know they are paying De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, but, they hopefully should have some more money to sign at least another star, maybe an underrated signing in the offseason. So, you guys let me know what you think about the Sacramento Kings. That's the end. I'm out.